I would like to now invite Minister Joe Luxton to the stage to introduce our second finalist, Wi Pere Trust.
Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm delighted to be here this evening to applaud the success of all those who have been part of this year's Ahuwhenua Trophy competition, celebrating excellence in Māori horticulture. I'd like to acknowledge the many distinguished guests here this evening, including representatives of Kingi Heitia, Tā Tumu and Lady Susan, Te Huhu, UK Member of Parliament, the Right Honourable David Mundell, representatives of international consulates and embassies, my fellow parliamentarians, and Minister Damien O'Connor is unable to be here tonight and sends his best wishes for a lovely evening. And of course I would like to mihi to all the three finalists of Ahuwhenua Trophy competition, Whiritoa Orchards, Wi Pere Trust and Nai Tukairangi Trust, and to the Ahuwhenua Trophy Committee. You have all overcome significant challenges just to be here tonight, and your perseverance is a real testament of your commitment to your whenua and to the Ahuwhenua Trophy kaupapa. Best wishes also to the finalists of this year's Young Māori Grower competition and to the previous winners of both competitions who are here tonight. It is now my honour to introduce the second of this year's finalists in the Ahuwhenua Trophy competition. As the MP for Rangitata, I am a proud South Islander. However, I spent many formative years in the North Island, including at school in Gisborne. So it is a particular privilege to introduce from Gisborne Wi Pere Trust. If the name sounds familiar, it may be because Wi Pere Trust is no stranger to winning awards. The Trust won last year's Ahuwhenua Trophy competition for excellence in Māori sheep and beef farming. Alongside its other farming operations, Wi Pere Trust has a thriving horticultural business producing kiwi fruit, apples, citrus, blueberries and persimmons for both domestic and export markets. Wi Pere Trust is a long-standing enterprise established over 120 years ago. Its horticultural arm now employs 8 full-time staff and up to 85 casual staff every year. The Trust plays a significant role supporting its shareholders and the descendants of Wi Pere, distributing dividends and grants and providing strong support for local marae, kohanga reo and papakainga. As with all three Ahuwhenua Trophy finalists tonight, the Trust's farms and orchards were impacted by the recent weather events. And I would like to commend the Trust and the other finalists for their strength and resilience in rebuilding from such a catastrophic event, and to reiterate the government's ongoing commitment to support the impacted regions and people. I take this opportunity to extend my thanks to all the horticulturalists and landowners in the audience for your hard work through recent years. Thanks again to Ahuwhenua Trophy Committee for organising this wonderful event, and best wishes to the finalists in both the Ahuwhenua Trophy and Young Māori Growers competition. Without further ado, please welcome to the stage Trudy Meredith, trustee for the Wi Pere Trust. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
E aku nui, e aku rahi. Huri no e o tātou whare i tēnei pō. Ngai te rangi, Ngāti rangi nui, Ngāti pukenga, whānui, tēnā koutou. Te rōpū whakahaere mō Ahuwhenua, tēnei te mihi o te nākau nui a koutou. Ngā nui te muhi hoki ki a koutou, ngā tari kawanatanga koutou hoki, whiritoa, me ngai tūkairangi. Ko au te mokapuna a Wi Pere, e mihi atu nei, kia koutou. Wi Pere is my great-grandfather. Tauranga Mona, you have a popular whakatau, but you look at it from a different point of view. And where people would say wars are won or fought over women and whenua, you say women and whenua are worth fighting for. And Wi Pere echoed the same. I have always followed my maxim. The quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I grew in a mara. I weeded the mara. I gained my education in the rows of sweet corn by reading instead of weeding. I have always grown food. I sold food in the supermarket. I catered quality, tasty food, as my whānau will say. I experimented with food and, of course, eaten food, as you can see. I learned the lessons of life there. Perseverance, keeping going. When it rains, you still have a plan. But most of all, don't trust a skinny cook. Our whānau have always excelled in growing food, as one of the previous speakers has already said. It's in our DNA, don't forget it. Mai rā noa, we can grow food. A gentleman from Wellington recently asked me, was it selfish of Wi Pere after winning the Ahuwhenua last year to enter again this year? Surprised, I replied, it's about establishing a brand of excellence to inspire customer confidence and trust. Non-Māori take more notice of organisations who win awards for excellence. So congratulations to all of us here tonight. We're all winners, champions and leaders for our people to aspire to throughout the motu. Excellence of product is the fruit of competent leadership, wonderful staff who take care of the growing, and thanks to our amazing team at Wi Pere, headed by Wayne, Eddie, James, Lockie, and also our numbers people, BDO staff. And tonight we're here to celebrate with them all. We are all important and interdependent on each other, from the ground to the plate. And if there is excellence at every step, then we all benefit. I would especially mention our chairman, Alan Haronga, kia ora iho, who would have loved being here tonight, and I'm sure he's watching. It's been 124 years since our tipuna Wi Pere, with the help of his learned friends, created the Wi Pere Trust to protect his whenua, his mother's whenua, his wife's whenua, and his daughter-in-law's whenua from being sold as a result of the unfair financial policies at that time. Thanks to all of our trustees who have preceded us, Sir Apirana Nata and Lord Bledisloe, for initiating this competition, and of course, most importantly, our sponsors, o mai te Pakipaki. According to Sir Apirana, who spoke at Wi Pere's burial at the Wairinga Heka Urupa on 4th of January 1916, he said, "There has been no more a nobler man, no greater man residing in our midst. He was proud of being Māori. No more an obstinate man, so focused, entirely one-eyed, he never knew when he was beat. He associated with every movement in both islands that, in his opinion, made for the betterment of his race. We trustees continue to carry on advocating for Māori throughout the motu, especially our chairman, Alan, and Kingi Smiler, who are both in Wellington. Our whānau do not really know just how much advocacy Wi Pere himself did outside of Tairāwhiti in his day, only at his tangi, when hundreds of Māori and Europeans from Te Reinga to Bluff came to pay their respects. We carry on that legacy in our own fields to make the world a better place for all people. And of course, big men make big mistakes when they are dependent on the advice of other men. Mr. MacDonald, who was the Minister of Agriculture at that time when we died, said, "We laid the track for the younger generations to follow. After the tumultuous early history and wars, a strong man was needed to guide and protect the Māori people. With strong taha Māori, he also combined some of the acuteness of the Pākehā side with great foresight and futuristic outlooks. He saw that in order to protect Māori, he must adjust to the newer conditions. With this in mind, he encouraged education and advancement of the younger generation. I heard the latest logo in Gisborne, EIT, feed the mind, feed whānau. Here again, we have followed his lead by asking the right questions so that nearly 160 years since the birth of his first child, we are continuing his legacy. We've all been through some trying weather bombs, but we are resilient. To all of our tipuna around us, we give thanks for where we are today. To finish with, just to show you technology, I'd like to read a poem recently. I know we're not supposed to talk about our kumaras, but I'll tell you the secret afterwards. Wi Pere. He stood like a giant, tall and proud, a leader of his people, true and tried. His voice was like thunder. His words were few, but they rang like a bell throughout the land wide. He fought for his people. He fought for their rights. He fought for their land. He fought for their lives. He was a man of peace, but knew when to fight, and he never gave in, no matter the plight. He was a man of vision. He saw the future. He saw a land where Māori and Pākehā would live together, even when it was unpopular, even when it was dangerous. He was a true leader, a man of his people, and he will be remembered for generations to come. Technology used in the past we see, hey, thanks to tech of 2023, used by ChatGPT. Kia ora.
Kua